purpose of this video is to show potential employers that I have some kind of an idea as to what I'm doing when it comes to AWS pen testing, although, meow, I'm still quite the kitty. Although I do prefer dogs, so script puppy really is what I would prefer. What I've learned here is, thanks to Google's Cybersecurity Plus certificate, as well as Tyler Ramsby's AWS pen testing course. Tyler Ramsby's AWS pen testing course will be in the show notes. The way that I'm going to be showcasing my AWS pen testing abilities here will be using Cloudgoat's Beanstalk secrets scenario, which is enumeration, lateral movement, and escalation, privilege escalation, in AWS Beanstalk. So the first thing I'm going to do is show you my template for taking notes while I'm pen testing. Here's my template. Right here, this usually says template. Initial access credentials, found credentials, and then a step-by-step enumeration list, and then the conclusion. And I'm doing my best to learn how to make this conclusion like a pen testing report, a professional pen testing report. So right here under enumeration, the first thing we want is link to research on environment. I've done a lot more research than this, but here's a good idea as to what AWS is. If you are interested in learning what AWS is, pause the video and read this. But basically what AWS does is a developer puts in their code, and then AWS just takes care of all of the deployment for them. It's like just handing all of the, it's like handing an architectural blueprint over to the developer of a house, and then they build it for you. And then you get to go in and live in it or sell it to the person who drew up the plans. So we'll put that in our notes for Beanstalk. Beanstalk deploys applications for you so long as your code is stellar. Alright, so the first thing that we want to do, I probably should have done this first, but I didn't, get over it, is Cloudgoat create Beanstalk secrets. Here we go. Just like in a real pen test, we've got some low-level credentials here. Too much reverb? Sorry. Test key and secret key. I've already done this a couple times, so you might see some commands come up as if I've already done it. Because guess what? I've done it a few times. So we're going to be using Pacu. Type in Pacu. That starts up Pacu. And we're going to be doing Beanstalk. But we're going to reconfigure the keys. So set underscore keys to configure our keys. Okay, key alias, we're going to make this just key alias Beanstalk, because these are our first credentials that we got. That is the key that we've been provided, and here is the secret key that we have been provided. Don't need a session token. It's not a temporary thing. Well, it probably should be. Not. Okay. So we're in. What's the first thing we do? Well, first thing we want to make sure is that we're actually in. So who am I? Is going to be to enumerate Beanstalk itself. So the way that we're going to do that is with this command. Run Elastic Beanstalk __ enum, and then we're going to stick to, for the sake of time, this region. And we found some things, especially right here. This is like exactly what we're looking for. Pacu, thanks to Pacu, it's one command gives us what we need. So we've got a secret key and an access key, right? So let's put that in our notes. We'll switch to our notes here. Here's the video notes. Enumeration, what's the step? Okay, the step was enumerate Beanstalk. What did we find when we enumerated Beanstalk? We found all of this wonderful, wonderful stuff. Right, yeah. We're going to throw that into our notes. And then we've got a finding here, right? Also, we want this to be full width. There we go. And here we want to make sure that we got our finding all up in here. / my findings are always in H3. Finding. 1, 2, 3. What's our finding? Our access key. And our secret key. And that's it. There's our finding. So now let's do some lateral movement and sign in with these credentials. So now we're going to set keys again. And this is our secondary, our second set that we found. So this one's key alias is going to be called Beanstalk 2. I'm pulling the access key from my notes. And also the secret key from my notes. There's no session token. Who am I? And now we have a whole list of resources here. Okay, back to the notes. What did we just do? We've got our finding, and now we've got lateral movement. Configure with new credentials. I'm going to copy everything I just did into my notes. Including the who am I up to the policy arn. There we are in our notes. We've got all that good stuff. That's our lateral movement. So let's see what we got here. we're in our new thing. What can we do? There's a whole long. Oh, sorry, I haven't changed back to CLI yet. There we go. Okay, so here we are, and there's a whole long list of all these permissions and resources and all of this. It's a very long list. But right up here at the top is just gold, absolute gold. There's our access key, IAM, create access key. Okay, so we can create an access key, resources, wildcard. Yeah, so we can create access key for anyone, right? So now what do we do with that, huh? Well, maybe we find an admin profile and then create the access key pair for the admin, and then it's not lateral movement anymore. No, we're moving on up in the world. Go back to our notes. There's actually not 2 but 3. There's not 1, but sorry to bore you with this, but it does not. I don't like my notes being out of order. 2, 3. Okay, so we've got our lateral movement, and now we've got another finding. Yeah, /h3 finding. That code block in there, and what's our finding? Oh yeah. Create access key, that's our finding. Wildcard create access key. Are you kidding me? Alright, let's do it. Where are we at? It's 2. Okay, so now we're at 3. So step 3. Step 3 is to find, I think they're called profiles, in this account, environment, whatever. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so the way that we're going to find these is going to be... Okay, there we are. You guys are back in the CLI with me. We're going to enumerate this account to find an administrator to make the keys for. And our code for that is run, or our command for that is run IAM __ enum _ users, roles, policies, groups. And there we have it. And now we type in data. And that gives us all kinds of stuff. But what we're looking for here is the profiles. I'm sure it's not called profiles. It's probably called something else. My goodness. So much information. Come on now. Come on. There we are. Okay, so we're going to take some of this info and put it in our notes. Here's our notes. I'm copying and pasting this here. That point there. Control-Shift-C. Here's our notes. Control-V. Enter, enter. Series of triple dots. Triple dots. Enter, enter. And then I'm just going to put in the info that we're looking for. Bring you over here with me into my CLI. We're going to keep on searching until we find... Okay, here's users. Not profiles, but users. That's what we want. And the very first one, admin user. This is who we're looking for. So that technically is a finding. back over to our notes. All right, so now we have the user that we want to create the keys for so that we can access the profile. Let's do it. Create access key pair for admin user. Enter 123. Okay, back over to the CLI. Down to the bottom. And Pacu is great. Pacu is basically going to do the whole thing for us. Run IAM backdoor user keys username. Now we gotta punch in our username here, right? Here's our ARN. This last part's our username. So there's our command. And off we go. It looks like I didn't spell it correctly. Put 2 R's in user. Hopefully that's the only error. Nope. Run IAM backdoor user keys username. The user has an S on it. Users keys. Like that. There we go. So there's our command. And our access key, our secret key. You know where we're going. Right to our notes. We just created the access key pair for the admin user. Of this here command. So now we sign in. We get admin access. So realize or discover admin access. 1, 2, 3. Okay. We're gonna go back to the CLI. And the way that we're gonna realize this access is we're gonna go to set keys again. And we're going to realize our privilege escalation. So this is Beanstalk 3. Really Beanstalk 3? No, it's Beanstalk admin is what it is. Okay. Go into my notes. I am becoming the admin in this Beanstalk environment. There's no session token. Who am I? Huh? Who am I? Right. But we don't have much information here now, do we? No, we don't. I do want to make sure that this all is in my notes. The whole setting the keys. I like having that in my notes. Control-Shift-C. Control-V. There we are. We've realized our admin access. But now we need to enumerate admin and capture flag. And that's what we're gonna do if this goes the way that it should. Run IAM And we're really looking for the permissions, right? That's what we're after. Permissions. For the admin, take this, put it in our notes. Just like that. Okay, we're enumerating admin and we're putting it in our notes, right? Right, that's what we're doing. 3, Control V. So we ran the IAM permissions, confirming permissions for users, this our admin user, and we found 15,319 confirmed permissions. We pretty much have all the permissions we could ever ask for. And in this particular scenario, we know that we are looking for the secrets. The secrets. And guess what? Pacu will do that for us too. And here's how it does it. Run secrets __ enum regions for the sake of time US-east-1, and look at that. Look at that. We found some secrets. The secret is the final flag. I wonder if we've captured the flag. Where is it? It's right. Yeah. All right, so we know where our flag is, so let's go to it. Download secrets manager ls. There it is. Let's cat it instead of dogging it. Let's cat it. The dogination? No, it's concatenation. Secrets.txt. Did we find our flag? We've got full admin access and we have found our flag. There's our flag. And here's our notes. And we'll put our flag in the notes. Control V. There we are, my friends. We've done it. That's the end. That's it. So what's our conclusion? We rule. Dagnabbit. Don't you know? There it is. That's it. We rule Dagnabbit. That's all there is to it. That's actually not all there is to it. But here is my real conclusion. And if I want to be super professional about this, which I should, I'm going to call it my executive summary. And here it is. Critical risk identified. Complete AWS account compromised achieved through privilege escalation. Chain starting from minimal Elastic Beanstalk access. Impact: full administrative access to all AWS resources, including sensitive data stored in AWS Secrets Manager. Technical findings. Finding 1. Hard-coded credentials in Beanstalk environment variables. This is critical and needs to be taken care of right away if your security posture is going to be any posture at all. Issue: AWS access keys stored in plain text within Elastic Beanstalk environment variables. That was our secondary user that we found. Impact: any user with Elastic Beanstalk described configuration setting can retrieve these credentials. Evidence: secondary access key right here. Finding 2. Excessive IAM permissions. Create access key wildcard. This is a high vulnerability finding. Issue: secondary user granted IAM create access key on all resources or wildcard. Gotta put in my asterisks there. Impact: ability to create access keys for any user in the AWS account, including administrators, unless of course they've already created both of their access keys, but in this case they didn't. Impact ability to create current policy. IAM create access key resources wildcard. Finding 3 admin user access key slot available. Medium. Issue. Administrative user did not utilize both available access key slots. Impact enabled persistent backdoor access creation. Evidence. Admin user had unused key slot, allowing attacker controlled key creation. Here's our attack path. Initial access, the minimal beanstalk enumeration permissions that were granted to us to begin with. Credential discovery. Retrieved hard-coded secondary user credentials from environment variables. If we couldn't find this, there would have been no lateral movement. We wouldn't have been able to get our administrative access. Privilege escalation. Used secondary credentials to create access keys for admin user. If we found this, but this did not have that wildcard to create the access keys, we likely would have had to find some other attack path to get admin credentials. Administrative access. Gained full account control, 15,319 plus AWS permissions. Objective completion. We retrieved sensitive data from AWS Secrets Manager due to misconfigurations. So how do we stop that from happening? Here's the recommendations to the client. Immediate actions. These are the critical actions that need to be taken care of yesterday. Rotate all exposed credentials immediately. Remove hard-coded credentials from Beanstalk environment variables. Restrict IAM. Create access key permissions to, here's our ARN, users. Just the user should be able to create access keys for himself. Short-term remediation. High priority. Can be done today, not yesterday. Implement AWS Secrets Manager for credential storage instead of environmental variables. Enable CloudTrail logging with alerts on create access key API calls. Audit all IAM users for similar excessive permissions. Implement access key slot exhaustion strategy for all administrative users and long-term security improvements. Implement IAM access analyzer for continuous permission review. Deploy guard duty for anomalous API activity detection, establish credential rotation policies, implement least privilege access controls. There you have it. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you for watching. God bless the work of your hands.